He says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter days, latter times, some shall do what? Depart from the faith. Giving heed to what? Seducing spirits and the what? Doctrines of devils. I have a big burden. Now the spirits are packaged in ties and suits. They wear shiny shoes. And they speak high-sounding things. Because a generation has risen who are looking for anybody to stroke the lusts of their heart. They don't want to make the sacrifices to find God. You think the journey to Zion is easy? Jesus was the one that said, be of good cheer. In this world, you will have tribulation. You can't escape it. Paul says that you will have the evil day and you will need to put on the whole armor to survive. Everyone will have the evil day. Everyone will have the evil day. It's not easy. Things will grapple for your attention. Things will come after your consecration. Things will try to fight your love for God. You will need to don your garment of intercession. You will need to know the way of a warrior intercessor, a warrior prophet. You will be trained to be a warrior disciple. Because even going to walk in the morning is warfare. Walking on the streets is warfare. Satan has warned people who have made up their minds that with their dressing, they will take as many to hell as possible. Breast is on the street. There was a time when you, as a young man in my nation, when you wanted to see a naked woman, you had to go and buy a magazine. And some of us, to buy that magazine, we used to hide. In my nation that time, it was called the Kebe Super. We used to hide. But now, even in church, you can find breast everywhere. Even now, walking from your house, if you have not known how to possess your vessel in sanctification and honor, Sodom. It's a sacrifice. You will need to come to a point in your life where you will say, I'd rather die. Just imagine, years after, my sister, years after Uriah died and Bathsheba's first son died, imagine when David's son pursued him out of the palace. The Bible says he climbed mountains barefooted. He ran like a fugitive. His whole house scattered. His own son raped his own daughter. If you had met David at that time, every time tears would have been falling from his eyes. One mistake with Bathsheba put a stain on his entire life. And you see, God has a sense of humor. When you open Matthew chapter 1, you will find that the Bible wrote it in clear terms so that anyone who reads it will never forget that David chose to break his covenant. He says, and from her, who was the wife of Uriah, is in Matthew chapter 1. They could have just written her name, Bathsheba, but the Bible says Bathsheba, the one who was the wife of Uriah. One stain a generation will never forget. Some of you, that's how you lost your fire. Lost your love for God. Now the raging flame of love you used to feel is not there. Prayer is just something you do as a routine. God forbid. If God can be found, I will find him before I die. I vowed that I won't be fake. That's why I'm not ashamed. Satan knows that I can't commit adultery. You know why? My greatest fear is to lose my union with Jesus. God will forgive me. He's a forgiving Father. But you see this thing I'm doing? I can't do it again. The reason I have a strong voice in the spirit is my covenant of purity. It's a covenant. What is on my life is adverse to sexual immorality. It's a covenant. A strong covenant. I know my destiny is tied to that, my covenant with Jesus. Somebody was telling me recently that a pastor in my city was speaking about me and saying, I emphasize sexual immorality too much. I talk about sexual purity too much. You know, when a lust has entered, seducing spirits now wear suits and begin to pamper your deviations, begin to encourage you. It's just a weakness. What useless weakness? The Bible says Jesus was tempted in all points as we are, yet he was without sin. He said, he that is born of God cannot commit sin. Why? The seed of God is on his inside. So it means that if I'm born of God and I'm finding deviations on my life, I need to go back and check. Why are these deviations occurring? Because your heart doesn't really want what your mouth says.